Hey there, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. We're happy to have you. So it has been a while since I last updated you on my hysterectomy journey. Part of it was because I was healing and then I got back to normal life. I'm back to working now and I just didn't make time to update you. But here we go. We're going to update you on what's been going on. So after the last video, I had my first follow-up, which was exactly a week to the day after I had my surgery. And so I believe that was on the 24th of November. The appointment went very well. The doctor just kind of asked some questions. How was I healing? How was I feeling? And at the time I told him that physically I was doing okay. The only pain I really had at that point was just the incisions. They itched very badly and then they just kind of felt bruised. And that kind of went on for maybe 2 weeks or so, that it felt bruised, even though it wasn't. It didn't have like pain, just that dull feeling of a bruise. And then the biggest thing that I was dealing with was my dizziness. Anytime, I don't want to say I stood up, but just if I had too much activity or if I turned in the bed the wrong way, if I bent over, I didn't feel like I was going to fall or anything, but it just was that feeling of the room spinning. The way I like to describe it for me when I drink too much, I turn my head and then the room comes. So because of that, I didn't drive right away. I think he told me that I could drive somewhere between 5 to 7 days post-op, but I waited probably closer to the 2-week point before I actually started driving, just because I was concerned about being dizzy. I didn't want my reaction time to be delayed because of the dizziness. I did stop taking my pain medication I had the surgery on Monday. Probably Thursday was the last time I took pain medication. The good stuff. I did continue taking ibuprofen, and I had to take some antibiotics. I did the full antibiotic course, the ibuprofen, and I think that was all that they gave me. Yeah, besides the strong pain meds. And actually, the day that I went to my first follow-up, I came home, I ate some food, and then I started coughing. I thought maybe it was just an irritation from whatever it was that I ate, but the cough didn't go away. So I think maybe like by Wednesday, I ended up going to urgent care because I'm like, I don't know, I am coughing, and long story short, I had an upper respiratory infection, and they treated that, and then I was better. So because I had that respiratory infection following my surgery, and it was a lot of coughing, of course that kind of agitated, irritated the surgical area. Nothing too serious, no stitches popped or anything, no bleeding, but I did notice that I had to hold my stomach when I coughed because I don't know, things are just different down there. And here I am, what's today? Today is the 18th. So I'm exactly a month out post-op from my surgery. I had it the 17th of November. And wow, only a month? It feels like it's been longer than that. Oh well. But anyways, so even now I still have to hold my stomach when I cough. Just like I said, things just feel strange and I don't want anything to happen. I still have internal stitches, the vaginal cuff, and then my incisions are closed and healed for the most part. There's still some hyperpigmentation, but the visible outside stitches are no longer, but I can still feel them under the skin. So just, being careful. So after that first post-op appointment, I had another one. I want to say it was about a week later, maybe a week and a half. because I was telling the doctor about my dizziness, and he was concerned because that wasn't a typical, not symptom, what do they call it? I can't remember, but it's not something that typically happens after that surgery. So he ordered blood work, and so my follow-up was to come in and discuss that. Everything came back normal. There were no elevated white blood cells fighting off any infection. The blood count wasn't low. My red blood count wasn't low. Everything was normal for the most part. But by the time I went back to my second post-op appointment, the dizziness had gone. I was able to drive myself, and everything was good to go. So I would say that I'm healing pretty well. I do have one final post-op appointment coming up in about 2 weeks. And in that appointment, he's going to check things internally to make sure everything is healing properly. And from then on, I should be good to go. But it's been a great experience. December 1st, I was supposed to start my cycle, but of course that didn't come because I don't have a uterus. No more periods. No more pain. Like, I can't tell you how freeing it feels to not have to deal with that pain. Try not to get emotional because every month of my life since I was 12 years old, June of the year I turned 12, I can't remember what year it was. I think it was like, I don't know, 98, 99, something like that, whatever. But ever since that year, I've had painful periods. I've had a handful of periods that weren't quite as bad as others, but they've been painful, whether it was from cramps, whether it was sharp stabbing pains from gas or whatever was going on, whether it was the back pain, the painful bowel movements, the excessive clumping, shedding. I don't want to get too graphic, but you know what I mean. The days I spent in bed with the hot water bottle or a heating pad, the time I had to take off of work, the medication I took to help the pain or just to take the edge off, the days I laid in a ball crying in a knot because I was in so much pain, the times I had to go to the emergency room because the pain was so unbearable. Shout out to my friends that would take me to the emergency room in the middle of the night because I woke up in excruciating pain. I mean, to this day, they laugh and make fun because the way I described it was it felt like my uterus was trying to fall out of my body. Like it was trying to just rip out of my body and fall out. I know that wasn't the case, but that's how much pain I was in. And we know that's not necessarily physically possible, but it's just something we look back on and joke about. And I really appreciate them taking that time out to, take me to the hospital. But to not have to deal with that anymore, and to think that all of those years I tried to conceive and couldn't. And then finally, by the grace of God, I was able to give birth to my son. And it was a hard decision to make, to go through with the hysterectomy because I'm still young enough that I could have more children, but I don't have a partner, and being a single parent is difficult. And I'm just very happy and content with my son. He's the biggest blessing of my life. I can't imagine my life without him. I can't imagine that I could love a child as much as I love him. Another child. I know that it's possible people have multiple children and they love their children equally, differently, but equally. And I just couldn't envision that I could love another child as much as I love my own. As much as I love this one. I can love other children, but, I hope you understand what I'm saying by that. So it was a hard decision to make, but I'm going to be 40 in a few months, and I'm good. It was the best decision for me. these tears aren't tears of regret. It's just reflection of my journey and how free I feel. Oh gosh. I still have pain. The pain is different. That's just my other bodily aches and pains from getting older and not necessarily taking care of my body the way that I should. But I am working on that now. Since April, I've lost over 20 pounds. I know that's not an astronomical amount, and many people lose way more in this amount of time, but that's still really good. I've lowered my A1C. I'm out of the pre-diabetic range, and I'm just working towards living life again. And it's amazing. So that's my hysterectomy journey. I want to thank you all for watching all of my videos. I may do one more update after my next visit with my doctor. It may be one a few more months down the line, but that's it in a nutshell. And I'm really happy I made this decision. I'm thankful to the Lord that I didn't have any complications. Of course, that was something that was on my mind, but He took care of me, and I'm good. I'm good. So if it's a decision that you are trying to make, it's not the right decision for everyone. It was right for me. But if you do it, I would love to hear your story. If you have had a hysterectomy, I would love to hear your story. And let me know how you feel afterwards. If you have any questions about it, I think I answered quite a bit, but there may be some that people have. I would love to answer them for you. But this concludes this video, and I thank you all for sticking through it with me, through all my tears and excitement. But I'm going to go ahead and go now. I love you all. Thank you all for following me. Thank you for watching this video. Be blessed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe below, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.